Okay, let's get straight to your calls. Let's go to Kevin, who's a Newcastle fan. Hi, Kev.
All right, Kev.
All right, Jamie. You all right, Cundy? How you doing?
I'm good, mate. Look, you've just heard Gareth Southgate there talking about his England side. What did you make of it?
I've got to question a few of the substitutions, if I'm being honest.
Yeah.
I think it's been well seen that the left-hand side was a problem. And I'm a Newcastle United fan. I know that Kieran Trippier is very good at right back. But on the left, when he is further forward, he does have to cut inside or he needs to pass on to somebody.
All the time.
And I'm not quite sure where Phil Foden was told to play tonight. But you mentioned that he was wasted on the left-hand side. I didn't see him there very much at all. And for me, it was quite obvious that we needed somebody on the left-hand side. And in Anthony Gordon, I think that was the perfect substitution because in the second half, Saka was getting a bit tired and they were putting extra men on him. Mm-hmm. And then when the ball bowling on, it was just much the same. They just kept them same men on bowling. And when was the thought process from Southgate to say, actually, we need an outlet on the left? And it never ever came. It never ever came. And I was a bit worried by that.
Yeah, absolutely agree with you, mate. I can't believe Anthony Gordon didn't feature, even Eze, just to make something happen. But if you're talking about directness, which I think we lacked on the left all night, you're absolutely right. Trippier, for me, was just coming inside. And, Southgate's talking about Kieran Trippier giving us width. I mean, he's a right-footed playing left-back. He's not going to give you width to get the balls in the box and get to the byline, is he? You needed someone who's going to make something happen in Anthony Gordon. I couldn't believe Phil Foden, bless him. I felt for him because he's such a great player, but he shouldn't have been on the pitch in the second half.
O'Hara, I said to my friend earlier on, Foden could do things that are Gascoigne-esque when he's played in the right position.
Yeah.
I'm just unsure what Southgate said to him and said, right, this is your position, this is where you need to play. And whatever that was, it was clear after about 40, 45 minutes, that wasn't working. And we're main distribution area where we needed to... Trippier was recycling the ball back inside and it was slowing down a bit. I was saying, come on, let's get Gordon on. He's got a bit of pace. He's done it all season for Newcastle United. And it never once came into my thought process. And I don't want to be a negative Norman. We've won. It's a first group game. You can only beat what's in front of you. But against a better team, I think we need to start thinking a little bit more outside of the box when it comes to substitutions instead of doing like for like.
Yeah, absolutely. Kev, great call. Let's go to Michael. He's a Man United fan. All right, mate?
Again, Southgate does what he does best. He's not proactive in his substitution. Where was Cole Palmer tonight? He should be on the pitch. SA should have been on the pitch. You could see in the first 40 minutes after the second half, they were at it. And I tell you what, we were lucky tonight.
Yeah.
Anyone else would get battered. And let's be honest, England are meant to win the Euros, are favourites to win Euros. I don't think we are.
No.
I can't see how we can. And the back four, at times, they were dodgy.
I thought Gahey was brilliant. I have to say.
He was brilliant. There was a couple of balls that went in the box. Obviously when Pickford came out for ball. God, you were a lucky boy.
I just wanted to call about Foden really on the left. I just really don't think it works. I don't know how you find the best out of him. But you've got the likes of Palmer, who's had the season of his life.
Palmer can't play on the left either. You're getting the same player.
But okay, you've got Gordon on the left.
You got Gordon or Eze for me next game. I'd start Anthony Gordon.
I'd personally go with Foden again. I'd go with Foden again, but if it doesn't work for the first 45, I'd take him off at half time. But Southgate isn't going to do that, so kind of point.
It is a problem. There's partly it down to the fact that we don't have a natural left back, because what you really want, if Foden comes inside, that's all right as long as there's an overlapping naturally left-footed wing back. But we don't have that.
I just think I'm just not too sure what we do, because I think Foden is so good and he's been, like I said, he's Premier League Player of the Season. But I just feel like he has to be in the team, but where you play him in that system.
But he's got Premier League Player of the Season because he played right mid or number 10. And at the end of the day, Saka's putting a performance. He's good enough to play there. He gives you directness. He makes things happen. And Bellingham's unbelievable. So he's not Premier League Player of the Season playing on the left. Simple as that. He's not a left winger.
Or you play Foden in the 10 and Bellingham goes back with Royce. I know.
Yeah, but then you lose that late run into the box like the goal come from.
It can still run in from that deeper position. I don't think we lose.
I think what Southgate's had to wrestle with is the fact that he knows he's got two brilliant number 10s in Foden and Bellingham. And it now comes down to a preferential choice of, do you want Bellingham there or do you want Foden there? You're absolutely right, Dan. Bellingham can drop in there. But Jamie's right, because as soon as you drop in there, you lose that late run, that run into the goal is the perfect. Foden is probably not as good at doing that as Bellingham. I think in opening defences in that area, I think Foden is probably slightly better than Bellingham. But what do you want? So if Kane does drop deep and there's a gap, I can see why I'd rather Bellingham filling that space. And there's the problem you've got. And I'm not sure there's a right answer here.
So I was going to say about the whole left Foden situation, but that's been well trodden now. So I'm going to have a talk about Southgate. Now, I think we can say that he's a very good man manager. He gets the best out of the spirit in each of the players. But tactically, there is something really lacking for me. There is an indecision problem where you get into 86 minutes before you're making pivotal changes in the substitutions. You bring them on at 55 and suddenly things can be played for. Let's say Eze comes on for Foden and Wharton comes on for Trent. Something like that. Something that really shakes up the midfield. And, by the way, physicality against a physical side. We're not seeing the actual judgment of the game. All of us could see that Foden wasn't coping, and there's an obvious answer for that. And for me, this comes down to one thing, and this is my point. You should be using the friendlies to blood and bed in a team. You should not be using it to scout players. And I think that's where we've come undone here, because most of these players have not played together over the course of 2 years.
Yeah, I was just so annoyed that in the second half I'm seeing the same old Southgate. He's had 3 tournaments to change his ways, but it just doesn't look like he's ever going to change. He doesn't want to be proactive when it comes to making a substitution. Now, we've won the game because, really and truthfully, Serbia were a bang average side and didn't really hurt you. But you come up against a top team, and we play like that in the second half, we're getting undone. It's as simple as that. Same old Southgate, and even his interview about conserving energy in the first half. What are you on about? We've got 10 subs.
Yeah. This is the point at which you're supposed to be expending energy to show the other teams what we're made of, to show that we have the best attacking talent, some of it in the world. That we should be making our stance now. The same could be true of the Iceland game. I know there's injury concerns and you don't want to expend too much on a friendly, but let's have a look at Netherlands, for instance, who beat people 4-0, 4-0, 4-0. They are saying to other teams, as are the likes of Germany, France, Spain, they are saying we're a dominant side. Yeah. What we're saying is we're afraid. We're defensive. Come at us because we're going to try and spring you on the counter. That doesn't inspire me with confidence. And it's a shame because we do have generational talent in this team. And, back to the Foden situation, bench him. You've got to bench him because then you have Bellingham for one game. Maybe you play Foden for a different style of play. And then you're keeping both players fit, but both involved. It shows nous, and that's what we need.
Yeah, absolutely. Kieran, top man, thanks for your call. Let's go to Andrew. He's from Preston. All right, Andrew?
Andy?
Hi, lads. Are you all right?
Yeah, good, mate. How are you?
All right, Andy.
I'm all right, thank you. I want to bring up the point that from what I've seen from Gareth Southgate's reign, that he's gone... So 2018, he went 1-0 up in the semi-final, and then the standard dropped, and then obviously against Italy we went 1-0 up, standard dropped, and I've seen the same thing tonight. So for some reason we go 1-0 up, and then we just don't do anything, and that's the problem. We need to be ruthless and see off a game, and we're not doing that. And it's a mentality thing. It's nothing to do with who he picks. The side is, it's obviously questionable from everyone's point of view, but we're not finishing off teams. And then you get scenarios in the second half where you invite this kind of pressure, and it's the same scenario happening time and time and time again on the Southgate. But I don't know why. Could you guys answer that for me, possibly?
Well, there is definitely a change in the way the game went at 1-0. I would like to see us be a little bit more ruthless and put our foot on the throat and do what Scotland had done to them by Germany. Sense blood, sense you're on top, sense you can get the next goal and probably take it away from them. But we're a little bit fragile when it comes to that, and we showed second half how fragile we are. We aren't great when we get our noses in front and we're on top, which actually happened. Then it's like, how do you react to that? And I thought second half we were too deep. We couldn't get anyone. We were literally booting balls. Even Pickford was doing it from his hands, going long. When we're deep...
Sorry to interrupt you, but it's a mentality thing, mate. Like, if you go 1-0 up, you should be going for it when you're on top. If we went 2-0 up before half-time, that second half possibly wouldn't have happened. The opposition then is still in the game.
It's not as if we didn't try that.
Time again.
Yeah, but there were chances. Walker had a great chance on the right. I thought Walker should have pulled the trigger. He looks like he's kind of got between a shot and a cross. I don't quite know what he was trying to do. There was another ball on the right-hand side again, all coming down the right, ironically, because we had nothing there, where the ball's come across the 6-yard box and gone to no one because we got no width. So it's not as if we sat on it, but we weren't ruthless enough. We didn't smell blood, and I think that is
and that for me is the problem. We've got to take our chances. Don't go 1-0 up, go 2-0 up and see the game out.
My uncle John has been at the game tonight for England. I've decided to get him on. All right, John.
John boy.
All right, James, how you doing?
How you doing, John boy?
You all right?
Yeah, John, you've been at the game. Look, we've obviously been talking loads about it. I've been speaking to you over text. What was it like in the ground? What was the feeling amongst the fans there?
Well, to tell the truth, we started the first half brilliantly, I thought. We controlled the game. It was all us on the ball. We should have been more than one up, I think. We had a few good chances. But what the worry was, I would have thought, is in the second half, when the Serbians changed it a bit and they was dominating the ball, we didn't really know how to get back in control, did we? You know what I mean? They kind of kept the ball. And I think tactically, we looked like we didn't know how to get back onto the ball against them. Bit of a worry, I thought.
Yeah, John, in terms of the atmosphere, in the ground, I'm sure it was amazing. But was there any moments where the fans were turning a bit, or were they looking at it going, he needs to make a change? Because obviously we're sitting here watching it on TV and we can sit there and scream at it. But sometimes you see it differently in the ground.
No, the atmosphere was fantastic as it goes. It got to be, that's what I'm saying to you. When they changed it, and then for the first 20 minutes of the second half, they controlled the game. We was just, they didn't make no changes, did they? Something needed to happen to change. He brought Gallagher on. It didn't really do a thing, did it? Although, to tell the truth, they never really got on our goal, did they? No, really?
No.
You know what I mean? They never looked like scoring.
No, and even though I felt, you're absolutely right, we did lose control of the game, it never felt that they had wrestled the control completely out of our hands and they had control. They only felt threatening from my point of view because the scoreline was so slim. I don't know what it was like that last 10 minutes, even though we were the better side, I felt. At 1-0, you're never 100% sure.
There you go. It felt like we was hanging on to a game that really we should never have been hanging on to. We should have been clear and gone. Look, it would be a worry. Against a decent team there, we would have probably got done, wouldn't we? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
Maybe a good team would have exploited. And I think Denmark are watching that. They would have seen had Serbia come out in the second half and be looking to do that, and we should be able to change tactically, surely, against it, shouldn't we? We felt like we was hanging on to a game in the end.
Yeah, we lost the thing.
We dominated and cleared.
But we kept, in the end, we were so deep because of felt a bit of fear. We couldn't keep hold of the ball. I mean, Kane, I have to say this a couple of times, Kane won free kicks, like the experience where he nicks the ball, goes down, he wins a couple of those and gets us 40 yards higher up the pitch. But in terms of possession, I thought that we
disappointed.
It was, yes, it was.
Yeah,
last half hour of the game.
Kane did have a good game, did he? I don't think
couldn't get him involved. Couldn't get him involved in the game.
But there was 3 crosses went across the box in the first half, and they was laid across for tap-ins, wasn't they? You'd expecting Kane to be there to tap them in. I don't know. He didn't look fit. I don't think Kane.
One of them he stopped running.
Yeah, he did stop running. He didn't look fit.
Yeah.
And we only faced one shot on target. So from a defensive point of view and a result, definitely over the moon. Second half, kind of expected Serbia to come out a little bit more after the way we dominated for the majority of the first half. You kind of expect that. But I think it's the same thing once again, putting the wrong players in wrong positions. I mean, Foden doesn't play on the left for his club. You can see that at international level. Trent doesn't play in centre midfield for his club. You can see that at international level. And if we carry on doing that, I think it will become undone.
Yeah, I don't think you'll... Well, it'll be interesting to see what he considers doing in the middle of the park because it is a problem area. I think Kobe Mainoo has shown that he is capable. In the friendlies that he's played there, in his back end of the season for United, I understand why he wants a bit of experience in there because we've lost it with Maguire. The left-hand side has been a massive problem before, even if everyone is fit, and everyone is fit. The problem he's got is at left fullback. If he's got Shaw, there's a balance to the side, then you don't mind necessarily either Eze or Foden or Gould, whoever it is, coming inside. There is no natural width on that left-hand side.
Yeah.
There is nothing. We have got nothing out there. I can't remember at any point in the game where on that left we drew their wing back out on that left-hand side to create space elsewhere. It didn't happen at all, and that is a massive problem for you.
Leon, thanks for your call. We've got loads to get through. Let's go to Matt. He's a Liverpool fan. All right, Matt.
Matty boy.
You all right? How you going?
Right,
I'm good, Matty. What did you make of that tonight?
It started quite well. I think it is the same old questions with Southgate. But what do people expect?
Well, expect him to learn from the last 3 tournaments and be proactive in games. That's what I want. That's what I want to see.
Yeah. Okay. So do I. But if that's not what he's going to give, then why hasn't someone upstairs made the decision to put someone alongside him who can? Because he is good at some things, isn't he? He's good at creating a good atmosphere in the squad. It's a much better atmosphere in the squad than there has been previously.
Yeah.
You know, he's a good organiser in some ways. So why is there not a Harry Redknapp beside him?
Harry Redknapp there, is he? I mean, look, his guy, Steve Holland, that's the guy he turns to. That's the guy he likes, and you have to accept that that's his background stuff.
But Steve Holland is pragmatic as well. Why have the SA not said, right, if you're still in charge, we're having someone alongside you who's going to help you make more attacking decisions when it needs to be made. Like you guys are saying tonight, it's clear as day to most of us who've...
At the end of the day, the gaffer's the gaffer. He makes a decision. Steve Holland's just there to...
Southgate would walk away. I mean, that's basically undermining him as a manager.
You're basically saying we're not quite happy with how you do it.
Yeah, you might as well get rid of him.
And I think the FA are very happy with how he does it. Because we get to the back end of tournaments all the time now. But just tonight, it wasn't so much the performance of tonight. It was because... You look at it and go, right, we've won the game. It's just, as we know, we're going to get out of this group. We know we're going to win a group. We know it's the same old. And you go, well, hold on a minute. It's like when we come up against a France, we come up against an Italy. If we see that performance and that pragmatic style and that boring nature and that mindset of, we need to conserve energy and we need to sit in, it's just going to be the same old rubbish that we're used to.
The inability to change things is just...
Oh, scary.
Scary. It's really frustrating.
It is really frustrating because I feel like everyone must have been going mad at the TV tonight saying, please change the left side, please. He didn't change it at all. He left it for the whole game.
The obvious one, and Gord, with Shaw not being available, then, for a start, why is there not another left-back in the squad? But, okay, there isn't. So the obvious answer was Gordon tonight. But also, you guys were saying about Harry Kane was losing the physical battle. I can say he's on the bench. He's brilliant. I think you guys a minute ago were saying that Harry Kane was losing the physical battle towards the end of the first half.
Yeah, but Harry Kane, I understand what you're saying, and Ivan Toney, yes, I agree, is an option. But in a big game experience, Harry Kane, yes, he wasn't brilliant, but I tell you what, in the last 5 minutes, he got some big fouls for us.
He did.
He uses his experience to get his body in positions.
And he was really close to getting the second goal, and then
he's had a header, it was a great save. There might be a penalty that you're wanting to take.
Then, I guess.
I just don't think you take Kane off in them moments because them last 5 minutes were massive.
Maybe not as tournament progresses, but in the first game.
Maybe he headed one off the line.
Kane's.
Yeah, he did.
Kane's not there. I felt our problem. We lost control of the game. In the end, we started clearing balls to no one. We were too deep. Bellingham's on the edge of our box. Rice is in the back four. We were too deep as a unit.
Same old England, though.
We lost control of the game.
Southgate, as usual, we've gone back to where we were the last 2 or 3 tournaments. He doesn't change things, which is absolutely obvious to everybody who's got half a brain cell. Do you think he just lacks a bit of bravery, Southgate?
Just to be like, right, he goes with the tried and tested all the time. He doesn't want to really make a change. And, instead of being brave and going, right, I'm going to do this. I'm going to make this change. I'm going to start this team. I'm going to put this player in that position because he's going to make it happen. I just don't feel like he's got enough about him to make a big call.
Absolutely fair point, that is, Jamie. Absolutely fair point. But the greatest thing that happened tonight was a 1-1 draw in the other game.
Yeah,
and
basically
we got 3 points, so it puts us in a good position. But if we can get 70 minutes out of Shaw, and we can put Eze on the left, and then bring Foden inside and put Bellingham next to Shaw and let Bellingham roam forward, we got a better chance. Saka was great. It was obvious he wasn't totally fit, but he was brilliant in the first half hour. Brilliant. He even went down the outside.
You're taking out the match winner and you're putting him deeper.
Yeah, because he can go.
He won the match. No, but the goal that we scored, you can make a good case to saying that Foden wouldn't be there.
Yeah, he would, but Foden is good at the little balls through to Kane and little balls out to the wide and everything else, and then getting in the middle.
I don't think you take Bellingham out of there.
I don't think you can, just because he's played there all season and he's been Real Madrid's best player.
I think you'd be mad to
and he
take
scored
him
the
out
winner
there.
tonight. Right. It's simple as that. He has to play number 10. You have to drop Foden.
The answer is Foden, unfortunately, has to be on the bench.
Don't do that. If you don't do that, you've got to drop Foden and bring Manu in. Or I didn't think the Chelsea lad did badly when he came on. He got himself stuck into what was going on.
I think the subs did all right. I thought Bowen done well. Actually,
Bowen come on, actually done well. Fair play to him. I've not been a massive advocate for Bowen getting in there.
I thought he'd done right, Bowen defensively as well. I thought he kind of want to cut the free. I thought the subs actually steadied the ship a little bit.
Yeah,
actually.
well, Bowen, what he did is he worked hard and he stopped crosses as well. Yeah. Like he wasn't allowing easy ones into the box.
He does that well, doesn't he, Bowen?
He does that well. Yeah, so fair play. He's one that you say, right, you deserve more of an opportunity. He puts a great ball in for Kane, and obviously they hit the bar. But no, I thought Bowen was right. Gallagher. He's going to give you energy and bite in midfield, which I think we're going to need as we move into the dawn. I don't think Trent can play in the knockout stages as a centre mid. Just don't think he can play in there.
Yeah, we'll see him on Thursday, won't we?
Cole, thanks for your call. Let's go to Wayne. He's a Villa fan, right, Wayne?
Right, Wayne.
How you doing, boys? You all right?
Wayne.
Yeah, mate. Yeah. What did you make of it?
Well, for me, first and foremost, it's the first game in the tournament, and we won. So there's a positive right there.
That's fair.
But for me, in the game, I was watching the game and I was thinking, there's a couple of things that I was like, wow, is that really happening? So for me, when I'm watching it, I'm watching Serbia getting on the ball in the second half and just driving straight down the middle of the park. Where was the press? Where was the people putting pressure onto the ball? For me, I think Rice carried Trent defensively. I think Trent put in some fantastic cross-field balls, which you all know he can do. But what I saw was that defensively, Rice was by himself. He was in the middle. He was getting headers on. He was defending his back four.
Rice was unbelievable tonight.
Yeah.
He put in a stellar performance.
He did. Yeah, him and Bellingham and Saka were probably our 3 best players.
I think Rice was the best player. Yeah. I mean, Bellingham gets the plaudits because he scored the goal, but if you watch his all-round performance, Declan Rice, he was everywhere. World-class performance from him.
But I also think Bellingham was very good. How many times did he make those recovery challenges and win the ball back?
You can make a case for the pair of them. They linked up well. But that, like I said, go again, mate. The same old problem. We had this conversation after Bosnia. Who plays alongside Rice? We had this conversation back in March. Who plays alongside Rice? That answer has still not been answered.
No.
Has it?
It ain't Trent.
Still. Right.
That's answered it for me tonight. Yeah. It's not Trent.
I'm inclined to agree with you, mate.
The Sports Bar with Jamie O'Hara and Jason Cundy. Monday to Thursday nights from 10 on AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.